Hello, my name is Tayler Wessel. My speech is to inform the audience about the job of restaurant worker and how they need to stay together and cope with the job that they have. A job as a restaurant worker is one of the most stressful jobs that you can have, especially since most restaurant workers are children in high school or college trying to make some extra money for tuition and rent and bills. Now, I would say I'm credible in this as a restaurant worker myself. I also go to college on the side and have to pay for bills and stuff like that. So I kind of know what I'm talking about when I get into the ways to cope with this kind of job. I'll be talking about ways that this job is stressful, mentally and physically taxing, ways to cope, and why it's so important to do these things to cope. I want to enlighten and inform the audience about these things so that they understand the days in and days out of these workers. There are many reasons as to why a restaurant job is hard. An article by Cron contributor called "Is It Hard Being a Waitress?" goes into a little bit about this. As far as the physically taxing attributes to this job, there's manual labor, heavy lifting, carrying trays, boxes, making sure the restaurant is open, ready to go, closed, ready to go for the next day. That's hard on you, and also as well as the long nights. Most restaurants don't close until late, and there's people who are there until midnight even, and don't get home until late, and then have to start early the next day. You are also on your feet all day. Sometimes you don't get a break to even eat or just sit down and breathe, and it can be very stressful, especially like on weekends and stuff. You're very consistent throughout the day. You don't really get time to stop. Once a table gets up, you're sat again. And I can't speak for the kitchen staff. Those, as a server myself, it's a little bit different, but I can say it's the same for the kitchen staff. Mentally taxing. You have to be nice to everybody all day, which can sometimes be hard if you go in and you're not having a great day, but you have to be nice no matter what. You want to make money that day, and you want to be able to give those guests a good experience. The pay is not anything to shout on the rooftops about. Most restaurant workers get, as far as servers, get $2.13 an hour, and that can be hard on your mind when you go in. You don't even want to go to work sometimes, and then you're like, I'm only getting paid $2.13 an hour plus those tips, which can be hard. There's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders as well. You have to make sure that your boss is happy with you, your coworkers are happy with you, and most importantly, those guests. And that's how we get into the ways that you need to cope. There's an article by Jessica Reimer called 6 Easy Self-Care Tips for Restaurant Work Stress. Ways to cope during the shift, after the shift, before the shift, so that you may stay happy. Treat yourself good. You treat everybody good throughout that shift. Your guests, you want to make sure they're happy. Make sure when you get off the shift, you're doing the same for yourself. Sit down, have a nice meal, take a shower, go to bed. That's the next thing. Get some good sleep. You're on your feet all day, and you want to make sure you're well rested and ready for the next day. Having a good diet is also important. Eat good food, make sure your body stays healthy, and drink water throughout your entire shift. Make sure that you're keeping clean. Another thing is maybe to meditate, clear your mind, make sure you have all those negative thoughts that you may have ringing in so you can go into your workday with a good, healthy forefront. Stay happy. One of the most important things to do is laugh. Get with your friends so that you're not constantly dwelling on a bad day. Just always stay who you are. These are all important because you don't want to bottle up your emotions. If you do that, it could end up causing an explosion at work. If someone sets you off, you don't want to go off on a customer, and that can fall back on you. So it's important to get your emotions out in a healthy way for everyone. You don't want to explode on your guests, your customers, or your family and friends about your day, and you don't want it to explode on yourself as well. Restaurant employee burnout is real. There's exhaustion, fatigue, and emotional distress, which can lead to accidents as well or injury. Lifting heavy things, you don't want to do that with a negative thought. Dropping things, you work with glass, hot food, stuff like that. You don't want to be mean to customers as well. Happy employees, happy environment, happy guests. It makes sure that you stay longer at the business and you work better and harder and earn more money to stay happy. Not necessarily that money is happiness, but it helps. In the end, there's lots of reasons as to why this restaurant work is hard, and there's lots of ways to cope, important ways to cope. You don't want to fall apart, and you want to have fun at your job. You want to make sure you're doing something that you love. So always remember to stay happy, healthy, and keep a good mindset. Thank you.